Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. Thanks for stopping by. If you like what we make here, please do us a huge solid and hit the like and subscribe button down below. We also live stream the podcast every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, and I host a video game live stream on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Central, so come by and hang out. If you're feeling extra giving, please check out our Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy the show. Mind Gap Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin.
And we're back again, right
Back in
there.
action.
We're right there on your shoulder. We've
Right.
got your back. We're like that scene in Ghost where you're trying to make some pottery and we're just lightly there with you, holding your hands, just pressing and putting the right pressure, speeding up the spinny table just so you can make the perfect wet clay into something that
helping
you will
you
then put in
throw
a
that
hot
mold.
kiln. And it will come out, and that is where you will put, I don't know, the ashes of your enemies?
That's what we're here for. We're here specifically for that reason.
Yes, exactly.
And while we're waiting for the kiln to heat up, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. While we're waiting for that pottery to get done, bend over. Let's get this show going.
Like a podcast.
Well, is that why my clay is in the shape of a dildo? I think you all need to stop.
Hey, look, we're just helping you mold what's in
Hey,
your
listen,
heart.
this is like a Ouija board, all right? We're all pushing together, all right? Like, this isn't one person doing it, all right?
We're all pushing together, quotes
right.
out of context.
Yeah,
Yep.
We're all pushing together, you know? Just got to lean into the discomfort, you know?
Just lean into the breathe into the push.
Breathe into the push, gang.
That's a wise person once said, breathe into the push.
Yep. And then they wiped when they were done. So there you go. Anyway, super excited. We got some fun stuff to talk about. I've got a bonus segment that I've cooked up for Justin and I for tonight, which should be a lot of fun. Justin doesn't know what it is. He opened it, and I told him to shut it.
I just hovered. I hovered on it, and it previewed, but it was too tiny to read, so
Good.
don't worry about it.
Good.
Yeah. Richie, what's going on from Mariel?
Oh, Richie. I caught Richie's stream. He was playing Leisure Suit Larry tonight, and the funniest part was watching the first 15 minutes where they're trying to verify that they were adults and they could play the game. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how this game works,
I've heard of it,
but
I
in
don't.
order to make sure it's not kids playing the game, they offer you random trivia about pop culture, and you have to answer it correct.
Interesting.
And if you don't, it doesn't let you play.
Interesting.
It is the most random shit. It's like, what's the fifth element from Captain America?
With the fifth element
Yeah.
from Captain America?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Captain Planet.
Oh, I was.
Like, wait, what?
I don't know.
I just know vibranium. What else is there?
Is it? Do they mean that? Is it the Soul Stone? I don't know.
There's 6. What are you talking about?
Get it?
There's that. It's like, which of these, in 1990, which of these organizations ceased to exist? And it's like the Red Faction Army, the Green Beret Army. Like, it's just a whole bunch of random shit. I was like, what? There was some blues music, like trivia.
Oh, it's so funny.
It was amazing. I just sat there watching them, and they're trying to Google it, but not everything was Googleable. So it was very, very funny.
That's really funny.
So,
What is
anyway,
the conceit of Leisure Suit Larry? I know I've heard.
You help guide Larry to get laid.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And when I was in like 6th grade, someone had it, and it was like a real big deal. It was all pixelated, and the first thing you could do was try to go have sex with a hooker, and it was like a real big deal to like be able to do
Guys,
that.
we're going to see pixelated boobs.
It's like, yeah, I just want to see them. Oh yeah, they're totally having sex. Yeah. But it was fun, Richie. Good job. Keep it up.
Leisure Suit Larry. Yes. Now I all I needed to do is see the cover art.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a real special game. So
Wonderful.
wonderful. So before we get started here, real quick housekeeping. Do all the stuff that you need to do to support us. Like and subscribe on YouTube. It's the cheapest way to support us. Doesn't cost you anything. If you're listening to us on wherever you're listening to stuff, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rate, review. Give us those stars. Give us those reviews. If you want to support us financially, we're very appreciative. You can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/mindgappodcast, or you can check out our merch at redbubble.com and just enter mindgappodcast, all one word, and pick yourself up something nice. If you do join our Patreon, you get to be one of the cool people like Tom McIntyre, like Richie Armour, like Zenny, like Slutty Bartfast, and like Almighty Crit, all of whom have contributed to the glorious cause of Mind Gap Podcast. And to that we say thank you for supporting us. And if you would like your name to be read out with those cool people, just head over patreon.com/mindgappodcast, subscribe. And
it's not an honor to be taken lightly.
No, it's something we take very seriously. We thank them for their contributions. We love it, and we love you. All right, housekeeping's done. Let's talk about Justin. How was your week? How was it? Was it good?
My week was good. I had a really good week, and I was back in Chicago again.
What the fuck?
At this rate, we probably shouldn't have left, just because I feel like I've spent an equal amount of time in Chicago.
Do you think, you should let me know when you're in Chicago?
Well, this is the thing.
You think you get hurt doing something like that? Just showing up unannounced?
I didn't have a lot of time. So this was a trip back. Beth, for Christmas, she got me tickets to an event, which I don't know if I told you about this, but
the LARPing event.
What's that?
The LARP event that was across the street from your apartment.
I was very curious about it, and the ticket cost $758. Totally worth it.
Yes.
I got to participate in one battle. And I was out immediately.
I was not practicing at all.
I had not practiced. I had months to train. Did not use them, and it was wonderful. I had a great time. Yeah,
good.
Yeah. No, she got me tickets to see Neil Gaiman in concert.
Neil Gaiman?
Yeah. So I got to go listen to him talk.
Oh,
I've never seen an author in concert before, but yeah.
Where was it?
It was at the Auditorium Theater downtown on Congress and Wacker, and sorry, not Wacker, Wabash. But yeah,
you leave for a month and the guy doesn't even fucking remember the streets.
All the W's sound the same to me.
I mean, W's definitely usually sound the same.
Yep. Guardian Leviosa,
Leviosa,
water. But yeah, it was really fucking cool, man. I was very excited. So came in on Friday morning, took the day off work, and then grabbed a hotel downtown, hung out a little bit, had a nice little dinner with myself, and then walked over and checked out the again, I don't know what to call it, concert, performance, intimate
show,
gathering, show, sure. Basically, he opened up doing some Q&A. He had a big stack of paper. Apparently, the audience was able to submit questions. I missed this, so I didn't get a question in there. But so he went through and did answered some questions, and that led to some anecdotes about his life and stuff that's happened to him. And then he did a reading from one of his works, and then Q&A, anecdote, reading, and he did like 5 rounds of that. So we got to hear like 5 passages from different works, a poem he wrote. And then just a whole bunch of stories about his life. And it was really cool. Apparently, like 30 years ago, Chicago was the first place he ever did a live reading.
Huh.
And so he's like, I have a real special place in my heart for this city. And it was just, again, really cool. Could listen to the man speak for hours.
That's
He's
awesome.
got the best fucking voice. You've heard interviews with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he's got just above baritone, British, smooth, very calm, great voice, great speaking voice, and just a calm energy on stage. He kind of guided the audience through just a wonderful night. So what was really cool, I thought, was being around true book nerds.
Yeah.
I was excited to see him, and I was familiar with a decent amount of his work. But there were people there who were like fucking nerd, like how you and I are Marvel nerds. Mm-hmm. They were Neil Gaiman nerds. And I was like, what? Like he brought up some obscure short story from a giant collection of work. And like, there was like a handful of people who just like, you were at a rock concert. They were wooing, like they were so excited that
I've read those words.
And I'm like, man, these guys are, and I was like, this is so cool. These guys are truly nerding. Like, this is a great night for these people.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So I've never heard an author speak before. So especially an author of that, acclaim.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, definitely interested in checking out some books that I've never, like The Ocean at the End of the Lane. Have you ever heard of that one?
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Never heard of it, but based off the story he told about it, I was like, that's cool. He told what the genesis was for it. Like, where did the idea come from? Love when an artist gets into that.
Yeah. I
think it's so interesting to
I love hearing how the sausage is made. Like, I can listen to comedians break that down, musicians, just filmmakers, like everything about that. I'm like, tell me more. I want to know how that stuff comes to be, because I think it's absolutely fascinating how that stuff works. Yeah,
it's like, cause it gives you a glimpse inside how their mind works, But the seed of that story got planted when he was 9.
Wow.
So like he carried that story around for years and really like let it, germinate and really come to life. It was really cool. So
Amelia goes, confirmed Doug's like sausage. I do.
That's accurate.
Yeah, I hopefully some of the stories I have in my brain will germinate and we'll plant those flowers,
And then you fuck the flower.
Oh, Richie said we had a friend of the author of Hellraiser on a podcast recently who was also in the film. It was a fantastic insight. That's awesome, man.
That's really cool.
That's so cool. That is, yeah, that's got to be really fun. Oh, did we just create a clip that says I like sausage? So that should be a good audio drop.
Yeah.
My name's Doug Cochran, and I like sausage.
Clip it. But yeah, I thought I was like, oh, Doug's gonna dig this. He'll find this cool. So I wanted to.
That's really cool, man.
Share that with
you. This is really cool. I'm not gonna tell Doug about it while it's happening, but I'll tell him after I've come. Well,
it was one of those things that I didn't realize until after. I'm like, I swear I told Doug I was doing this, and then I was like, no, because he would have asked like, how was it? And I was like, I must not have. So that I'm like, fuck it. Then I'll just save it for the podcast.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's all right.
But yeah, I didn't have a lot of time. So
listen, man, no one's keeping track.
I'm just saying.
No one's keeping track here, Justin. There's no ledger.
Uh-oh. As Doug pulls out a whiteboard with just tick marks on it.
There's no.
Oh, don't write it down. He's writing it down. Oh, he engraved it.
There's no problem here. We're good. We're good.
In the desk.
We're good. I kept thinking of that scene from American Gangster where Russell Crowe's character stops Thanos and his corrupt guys. I forgot his name, so it's easier to just say Thanos. I think it makes more sense just to go interchangeably with characters.
What? I don't know if this is a real story now. I don't know where we are.
What? Yeah, but Thanos and his gang of corrupt cops, and he's like, "Hey guys, you're stealing marked money," and they're like, "He's like, from fucking Jersey? What the fuck you doing in New York? What are you doing in my city unannounced? You think you get hurt doing something like that?" It's like, next time you want to come in here, even for a fucking Broadway show, you call ahead, and I'll make sure that it's okay that you come in here. You got that? You piece of shit. It's like, wow.
I'm sorry.
That's intense. I love it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. What'd you do over the weekend?
Here's a update. Currently beta.
I don't have that either.
I don't know, Justin.
Like I should have a news thing.
Whatever, Justin. Hey, this just in. It's an attention grabber. It'll get you. I am currently beta testing the. I don't want to call it a one shot anymore. The miniseries that I'm designing for that I built for you and Drew and Eric and Kaya and Slotty. So
out fucking time.
We had our first episode, our first session last week. We're continuing on. It was great. It was a great first session. I had a lot of fun. Testing.
Have you got notes back on it yet?
Not yet, but so far it was
notes, or
it was pretty straightforward. I think so far, nothing too out of the ordinary. So we'll be curious to see as we go along here how things shape up. But I had a really good time. So we already have a great theme. It's like improv. You find a game and you're playing with it. And Wolf's character, it was just everyone's just going, damn, that guy's cool. Like, man, he's so cool. Everything he was doing during this fight, he was just like leaning up against a tree. He would just be like, like blowing guys up, and everyone just goes, oh, damn, he's cool. I just kept saying.
I love it. That's fun.
It was so much fun. It was really, really cool. So anyway, I got to test that out, which is great. Still working on it. It'll probably be, just going through this. It'll take a couple of sessions. We're doing a 2-hour chunk, so I'm like, oh yeah, this will take a little bit longer than I anticipated. But looking forward to ironing out some of the kinks with it and keep going. Outside of that, I had a fucking phenomenal weekend. Friday night, we did our first campfire of the season.
Nice.
Perfect night for it. It was amazing. So much fun. Beautiful night. It cooled down enough so that having a fire wasn't an inferno, which was nice.
Yep.
Made s'mores, hung out. It was a great time. Then Saturday we went to, there was this like party in the park at one of the parks near us. So we went to that for a little while, which was really cool. And then Sunday we went to the zoo and had an absolute blast at the zoo. So that's always a good time. Like
baller. I love that.
Yeah. It's always so much fun just being able to go. And Natalie is so just into animals and just exploring every nook and cranny of that world. So it's always really, really enjoyable to be able to do.
You guys go to the Brookfield Zoo?
Brookfield Zoo, baby.
Yeah.
Brookfield.
Nice.
It's really, really cool. So we had a really good time with that.
I have not been to the Brookfield Zoo probably since grade school on a field trip.
Yeah.
It's been years.
Yeah, I'm a member.
Weird brag, bro.
I know it is a weird brag, but when I was just looking up how much it would cost just for the three of us to go and park, it was like $82. And a membership's like $150. I'm like, we'll go more than twice. Parking? Yes.
Game on.
Yeah, I was like, we will go more than twice throughout the year. I think last year went 4 or 5 times. It's like it definitely paid for itself. So,
Cool. Fucking A.
Yeah, Jared says, do you pay for that zoo? Yes. Brookfield you have to pay for it. Lincoln Park is free. I've actually never been to Lincoln Park Zoo. Lived in Chicago for 13 years. Never went.
It's a good zoo, I can say.
I hear it's good, but Brookfield's good. Membership gets all three of us. It does. All three of us. So plus parking.
Jared's very invested in this deal. Are you thinking about becoming a member, Jared?
Yeah, man. Come on over.
Yeah.
Come on over and
I'm just
visit.
saying.
By the way, I get guest passes too. I get like 10 a year.
There you go, Jared.
So
all you got to do is drop a couple, $1,000 on plane tickets, get over here, and you can go to the zoo for free.
You can stay at my house, so you got your lodging covered. You'll get some good food. I'll smoke some stuff for you. It'll be great. We'll have some good stuff. It'll be great. It's good.
Brilliant.
E-Toy Practical Doug does zoo membership. You goddamn right. I'll be over soon. See you soon, pal. So yeah, I had a phenomenal weekend. It was great. I'm just loving the weather right now. I just want to go outside. I want to do stuff. I want to be active, and it's been really super enjoyable. So, but outside of that, I've also found myself revisiting. I go in these moods where I'm like, hey, I want to watch something. What do I want to watch? And I just get in these modes where I want to watch stuff I've seen before. I just want to revisit.
Are you talking movies or series or both?
Both. Like my brain will be like, randomly be like, you haven't seen this in a while. I'm like, I haven't. And it's just sort of like inceptions myself. And I'll be like, hey, I haven't watched Donnie Darko in a while, and then a few days later, I'm like, I'm ready to watch Donnie Darko. Like, I have to wait for the right time to be like, yes, now it's time.
You plant the seed and then you let it grow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm like, yes, now's the time to watch that. Yes. And I was just looking for something. I love going through the streaming services and just being like, okay, what's available? What's on there? Like, what makes sense? And I came across an old anime I haven't seen in a while called Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online.
That sounds more like a class you would take at a public rec center.
It does, right? Right? It's totally like a community, like in the park. Come to the park Saturday from 2 to 3. We're going to do sword art.
Helen is taking you through Sword Art Online. If you're 65 or older, you get a half off pass.
Yeah. It's
Macs. You have to have a Surface Pro or a Dell laptop.
Macs are not allowed here. Absolutely
not allowed here. You can't do Sword Art Online with a Mac.
I love it. So I fired it up. It's on Netflix currently, and I remember enjoying the premise for it, which is I don't know if you want to call it the first arc of it, is essentially this nerd and other nerds join in this VR MMO RPG. So essentially, like
It's too many letters,
right? You put on this headset, it connects to your nervous system, and then you are like your consciousness is in the game, and you're moving, you're running, you're doing all that sort of stuff. But it is still a game. But the idea is it's this new hot game that everyone's excited about, and 10,000 people log in the first day. They're getting ready to go, and then all of a sudden, players realize they can't log out, and then it's quickly announced from the game designer that that's part of the game and that you're not allowed to log out, that this is your life now. Like you have to, in order to get out of the game, you have to beat the game. And this is a game that has 100 levels. You have to clear like a boss on every level to get all the way to the top. And if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Mouse wasn't working.
You looked like you moved. I'm like, he's going to do it. And then we're like,
yep.
You're like, what do you want from me? I don't know, man.
No, hold on. Let me just do this. Cool. Now,
all right.
Hotkey,
baby. We got hotkeys.
We got hotkeys.
E-toy. Like Ready Player 2. Sorry, spoilers. Yeah, probably. I haven't heard it or read it, but it sounds like about right. So kind of a fun, oh God, you're hosting a Wolf says, since Doug is watching Sword Art Online, soon I'll host a movie night for Sword Art Online ordinal scale in the Discord. That sounds awful. But we'll talk more about it in a moment. But the conceit of it's interesting, right? Because what'll happen is if you die in the game, it sends a microwave burst through your brain and it kills you. And so
It's chestnut.
People starts freaking out, but the main character we're following is Kirito, and he played the beta, so he already has advanced knowledge on some of the stuff, and he's gotten through some things. So he's like, all right, I've got to go and got to do what I got to do. So the conceit of it's interesting because it takes place actually over 2 years. These people are stuck in this game.
Wow.
Spoiler alert, for over 2 years. And how do they handle that? The idea of like, what's real, what's not.
Right.
There's some people where you've got player killers in that universe because they don't necessarily believe that you actually die, so they actually enjoy it. Or they're like, this is great, I'm murdering people, and I can do it.
Psychopaths show up, yeah.
Yeah, right. And there's other people that just hang out in like the beginning level because they're afraid to leave. They're afraid to die. And then you have people that are considered like the front line, the assault squad, who are actually going, they're clearing out everything, they're forging ahead. They're kind of like the heroes who are trying to get everyone out so they can win the game. But I was watching it, I was like, cool, yeah. And as I'm watching it again, I'm like, this isn't as good as I remember it being. Because the first arc, in my opinion, is definitely the best arc. And every arc after that, it gets worse.
Now, when you say arc, are you talking seasons?
They're not really seasons necessarily. OBS disconnected again. So I'm just going to forge ahead here like it didn't happen.
Don't like that.
Unfortunately. Now it's reconnected. So, all right. And we're back again. Sorry about that, gang. I'm not sure what's going on with OBS over here, but it's going to get a butt looking here pretty soon. But so... It's not you, Wolf. It's me. All right. I know what's happening. Saying OBS is disconnecting. Don't know what that is or why it's doing it, but it's doing it. But we're going to forge ahead here. Because you know why? Because just like Kirito in Sword Art Online, we've got to beat this game. All right. We got to save everybody in this game. All right.
Well played.
Because if we die in the podcast, we die in real life. Damn it.
Yep. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a real thing.
I say arcs because I thought they were seasons, but technically season one contains two very separate story arcs, if that makes sense. So there's hey, I'm with you.
No, it does, yes.
I'm with you. I wish they would just do individual seasons that way. At least that's how I thought they were broken out, but apparently not. So it was, again, the conceit is interesting, but as I'm watching it, I'm listening, like there's this like beautiful dramatic music. There's, this intense imagery, and it's like they're trying to, you're trying to ascertain that the stakes are high, but then they say really cringy dialogue that like nerdy dialogue that just breaks. It just throws everything out the window.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. Like, I'm just going to kind of make up something, but they'll be like, all right, guys, this boss is really difficult. Make sure to watch his meters, and when he changes from green to orange and then from orange to red, just know their attack patterns are going to change. You got it? All right, I got it. And they're fighting. They're like, doing anime stuff. Yeah. It's like you have the internal dialogue, which I kind of hate in animes. It's just there's so much like hearing internal thinking, and sometimes they do it too much. And like there'll be a slow motion part where he's like, oh, if I don't do this fast enough and my HP drops to 0, then I'm dead for good, and that'll be it. And you're just like, ugh.
This dialogue sounds like it was written to explain to people like me who might be accidentally watching this, who might have clicked on it and gone, what is this? Like, we need to put all this explanation, it's an exposition dump all throughout the whole thing and go, okay, cool. Now people are caught up.
You have no idea how often that happens. Like, they over-explain everything to the point where I'm like, how much time have we spent? They literally do a shopping, like a gear shopping, like section of an episode where they're breaking it down. They're like, well, if you want agility stats, you could go with this, but strength will get you. I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we breaking this down? Like, this is not pertinent to what's happening here.
Let me ask you this. Do you think they did it to try to gain credibility with actual gamers, to show like, we speak the lingo, we know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge?
Well, it definitely feels like a, Steve Buscemi, hey there, kids kind of meme where as they're saying these things, where they're like, oh my gosh, this is just my screen name, but in IRL, my name is differently. Like they throw in those things that people wouldn't say. It'd be one thing if you were typing it out, but these people are communicating with their words to each other. I'm like, I don't feel like people say in IRL. It's like, no, people don't do that. Like, it's just, it's weird. And it's just, there's these weird diatribes and things like as they break down different aspects of the game and their plans. And it's just, it really, because I'm going to spoil this for anyone who has spoilers for this. So after the first arc, things are reconciled. All right. They get out of the game. All right. They beat the game. And then there are many more arcs after that where they're playing games, which, by the way, these are like 16, 17-year-olds, some of these characters. Yeah. And they decide to go back into virtual MMOs, which I think would scar you for life if you were in one.
The same one?
They go into different ones. There's different MMOs, different games that they decide to play. And I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you could ever go back into that, but they do. And they still try to play as if there's the tension and there's the stakes that if you die, it's over. But it's totally not the case in these new games. Like, if you die in the game, you don't die in real life. But this character plays these like, I'm going to risk it all. I'm going for it. It's like, dude, you can just respawn like when you're done, Do
you think is this their way of like showing this character has PTSD?
I don't know, man, but
is there a deeper psychological meaning to what we're watching here?
I mean, they beat you over the head with, what is real? What's reality? Because my consciousness isn't here, but outside, I also feel, It's like, what the
When
fuck?
did this come out again?
I think that it was originally released in 2012, and I think it's just been an ongoing series ever since.
This sounds like something that came out in 96.
It does. It really does.
It really does not sound like it's that recent.
It's just tough because, again, I feel like the first arc is the strongest. Yeah. It's like the show Dexter, right?
Yeah.
Dexter's great. The problem with Dexter is that in season 2, Dexter's being hunted by the FBI, right? And spoiler alert, there's 8 seasons. He evades the FBI. Like, that season 2 is intense. Like, right. It's really like, holy shit, is he going to get caught? And he doesn't. After season 2, I'm like, okay, what are the stakes now? Because the FBI, he was able to avoid them. What are we worried about?
It's bigger than that. Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, I feel like they should have scaled up and ramped differently because I'm like, what are the stakes now? Like, I don't like
maybe
get it.
Spent 2 seasons on local law enforcement.
Yeah.
And then maybe now we've got someone like, maybe like a district attorney's coming after him. Right. And then we've got there are levels in between local cop or there's levels in between Good Samaritan and FBI.
Yeah, like
there's a lot in between there.
Because it's like, oh, I'm not really worried about him getting caught because whatever, you know. Wolf says Sword Art Online was originally a web novel written in 2001. That explains it.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
It makes a lot of sense in that sort of regard.
But you don't need to stick that close to the source material when you're making something like this.
True.
Like if the 2001 web novel was that, like, we're going to talk internet lingo.
Yeah.
You have the liberty to update that if you're doing it that many years later.
Yeah. And like, so for me, part of the problem is like the stakes are gone because oh no, he's doing this heroic act. And where in my mind, I'm like, if he dies, who gives a shit? Like,
right.
And I don't know, maybe these characters are just role players, right? Because they're like, I'm not going to give up on you if I can help you. I'm like, yeah, it's just a game, man. Like, listen, I do my best to protect all the Discord folks, like when we're playing Overwatch. You know, I'm trying to do my best to heal them, but if they die, I'm like, sorry, dude. I don't go, no! Gunch! He's fallen! I will sacrifice myself. I will relent. I will never forgive us. And then I get headshot. And it's like, whatever. What are you going to do? You know, it's just, it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. And I have a hard time being immersed in the story when I'm like, this is just crazy. Also, it gets really gross with the relationships. It gets super rapey in the second arc where I'm like, ooh, I don't like this at all.
I'm a fan of that.
No. And it's got some classic anime tropes of, you know, these characters, you know, are in scantily clad outfits, and for whatever reason they like really like to showcase it in like the shots.
Sure,
are
why
just
not?
like on butt cheeks and boobs, and it's like, listen, I get that teenage boys and young adult men, who cares? Let's be honest, adult men are watching this, but do we have to really, like, to me it's enough if you want to dress them with cleavage and whatever, that's good. You don't have to actually have a part where the main character tumbles through, like a character tumbles through, and he's like, what is this? And he's squeezing her boobs like he doesn't know what he's grabbing. Right. And he's like, what is this? Feels squishy. And then and then it's like there's like 4 of those. It's called fan service, Doug. Fuck you, Slotty.
I'll tell you what kind of service it is.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's almost like they're just excited that their artists can draw semicircles.
Yeah, it's just weird, and it's just
small and big.
Yeah, it's bonkers. So that leads, you know, I want to ask you a question after this, but before we do that, I want to kind of jump to our new segment. All right. So this is something new, Justin. I want you to open up that link. All right.
Oh, I can click on it now.
You can click on it now.
Okay, because there's a big thing next to it that says "Don't click this, Justin."
Yeah. So, all right.
I put there.
Okay. So, what I've done is I have pulled some dialogue from the show. I have two pieces. I have 2 separate like pieces of script here, and I want us to do a read of this. Mm-hmm. You are going to play the lead character, Kirito. I've highlighted your stuff in blue. So you get to, and the best part about this is you have I will give you very little context of this. I'll give you a little bit of direction.
Okay.
And then I just want you to just go for it. Okay. So you're playing Kirito. All right. So this guy,
great. Okay.
This guy is a quote unquote badass. Okay.
Badass. All right.
So I want you to have like super confidence. I want you to be just like cocky, and I want you to, I want you to own it. All right. So you are staring down the enemy. You are the ultimate confidence. You're a big dick swinging guy here. Okay. Are you ready? All right. So this comes from season 1, episode 4, The Black Swordsman. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to play
read stage direction too.
I'll read stage direction. Right. So I'll play all the characters except for Kirito. All right. Are you ready?
Hold on. What is this? Is it
Silica?
Silica? Okay.
Yeah.
Silica and Rosalia.
Rosalia, yes.
All right, Silica and Rosalia.
All right.
All right, this is great.
Is something wrong?
Whoever's hiding out there, come out now.
A woman with a spear comes from behind a tree onto the road. Rosalia? If you saw through my hiding skills so easily, your detection skill must be really high, swordsman. Ooh, it looks like you were successful getting your hands on the Numa flower. Congratulations. Now hand it over before you get hurt. What are you talking about?
No one's handing anything over, Rosalia. Not to you or the Orange Guild. Or should I say, Titan's Hand? You're their leader, right?
But Rosalia's cursor is green.
It's an easy trick. The green members find their victim. Then they lure... What the fuck is this? Then they lure them straight to the orange players for the ambush. That was one of your pals last night eavesdropping on us, wasn't it?
Then the reason you were in that party with me and the others was to... How perceptive. I was observing their strength and watching them earn all that beautiful money. You were who I was excited about, and I was so sad when you left the party. But then you told me you were getting a rare item. What I want to know is, if you knew about us, why did you bring her here? Are you dumb? Or does she have you wrapped around her finger?
Nope. You're wrong both times. See? You're wrong both times. Nope. You're wrong both times. See? I've been looking all over for you, Rosalia.
What are you talking about?
Remember 10 days ago? You attacked a guild called the Silver Flags? The leader survived. 4 didn't.
Oh, the losers with no money.
Their leader went back and forth from the warp point to the front lines, morning till night. And with tears in his eyes, he begged everyone he met to avenge his dead friends. But he didn't want you... killed. No, thank you for that. I'm like, I don't want to read any more of this if that did. But he didn't want you killed. No. He wanted you to go to prison. Do you have any idea how he felt?
Can't say I do. Only idiots take this seriously. So what if we kill someone here? There's no proof dying here means you're dead in IRL. Anyway, it's time you started worrying about yourselves. Several bandits reveal themselves from trees and bushes and approach with weapons. Kirito! There are too many of them! We should get out of here!
No, it's okay. You'll be safe if you stay here. Keep the crystal handy till I say so. Okay?
But... The bandits quickly surround Kirito. Kirito! Kirito? Dressed in black? One-handed? No shield? Holy crap! It's the Black Swordsman! Rosalia, that guy! He's the beater who plays solo on the front lines! He's with the assault team! No way he is. Why would someone from the assault team be all the way down here? Go on, take him out, and take everything he owns. Die! The bandits begin hacking and slashing at Kirito. I've got to save him! He won't last! The bandits continue attacking and step away panting. Kirito still stands. What the hell, you idiots? Kill him already!
410 seconds, give or take. That's about the total damage the 7 of you can inflict on me. I'm level 78. You've got 14,500 HP. My battle healing skills auto-regenerate 600 points every 10 seconds. We could stand here all day, and you wouldn't get anywhere.
That's not possible!
Want to bet? If your numbers are high enough, you're invincible. MMOs that use leveling systems are unfair that way. My client spent his entire fortune in this warp crystal. My client spent his entire fortune in this warp crystal, and he'll get his money's worth. It's been set to the coordinates of the prison, and I'm sending all of you bastards there.
Well, I'm green, and if you hurt me, you'll go orange and... Kirito moves at blinding speed and presses his blade to Rosalia's neck.
I'm a solo player. Got it? I don't care if I have to play as orange for a couple of days.
Rosalia slowly drops her spear and surrenders.
Jesus Christ. What is that?
Oh, God, it's so hard keeping that together, man.
Oh, my God. That is unbelievably...
I'm sweating so hard. That was so much fun. So, part of the joy of that was just hearing you utter these stupid lines. Like,
and these are stupid.
And you owned it. You did such a good job. When he was like 410 seconds, give or take, he like breaks down like the math and how the amount of damage per second they do.
It's so unnecessarily specific. This is amazingly bad.
It's so stupid. Sorry. It's so stupid.
Oh my God.
We got one more. It's a real quick one. So
this is okay.
So you got a little bit of a monologue on this one. All right. So this one, a little bit of direction.
What's my motivation here?
All right. So here's the thing. You're with the woman you love. All right.
Okay.
And she's gonna ask you a question, and it's about a memory that makes you really sad. It's one of your big regrets. All right.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. So this is from season 1, episode 10. Crimson Kill Intent.
All right. You'll have to forgive me if I stumble through this giant block of
I don't know.
This ridiculously long monologue. All right. I'm in a guild.
I just want to isolate that audio right there. It's just Justin saying I'm in a guild. I want to have that on the soundboard. Justin saying, I'm in a guild. All right, anyway. Okay.
All right.
I guess it's sort of my fault, isn't it?
No. This is a good opportunity. As a solo player, I don't know if you saw the previous episode, but I'm a solo player. I got as far as I could go.
That makes me feel a little better. Hey, Kirito, why do you avoid guilds and people? I hope you don't mind my asking. I mean, it's not because you're a beta tester or because you have unique skills, is it? You do care about people.
It was a long time ago. About a year or so, up to now. It was the only guild I was in. It was small. Including me, there were 6 of us in it. They called themselves the Moonlit Black Cats. As players, they were good. But their levels were way lower than mine. I thought if I told them what my level was, they wouldn't have wanted me around. So I decided to keep my mouth shut about it. I joined up with them. I'd watch them messing around, having fun. I guess I wanted to be part of that too. And one day, I'm the reason the whole guild was wiped out. If I hadn't hidden the fact that I was a beater, I could have convinced them how dangerous the trap really was. I killed them. Sachi, all of them.
I should have put some stage direction. Asuna basically gets in close and says, I'm not going to die. Got that? I can't die because I have to protect you.
What is this show? What is this show?
Oh
my God, what is this show?
Oh
Doug,
my God.
This, I'm 100% okay with this being a regular segment on the podcast. And to my earlier thing that I said, I am absolutely going to make a theme song or an intro song I'll figure something out. This is amazing.
Oh, thank you for indulging me on that. Slotty already clipped this. Justin's in the guild. That's amazing. Thank you, Slotty. So I'm gonna put this first of all. So I wanted you to get a taste of how bad this was. Like just
now real.
Imagine like really dramatic music and really just cinematic like camera movements and animation, but they're saying this ridiculous dialogue.
Hold on. Sorry, I just have to try one thing real quick.
Oh God, I'm sweating. That was so much fun.
Oh, where is it? Where's my HP?
Oh God, it's the.
Hold on. Yeah. There's got to be a good one in here. There's got to be.
Yeah,
it's
on. I don't know what. Page.
Yeah.
See it.
410 seconds, give or take. That's about the total damage the 7 of you can inflict on me. I'm level 78. I've got 14,500 HP. My battle healing skills auto-regenerate 600 points every 10 seconds. We could stand here all day and you wouldn't get anywhere. End scene.
I could do this all day.
I could do this all day. You might as well just say that. Kirito picks up the adamantium or the vibranium seal.
I'm telling you, man, this show is littered with shit like that where you're like, I'm connected, and then you say a bunch of dumb shit like that, and I'm like, and I'm out. I can't take this seriously. Like, I just can't.
Unbelievable.
Especially like I even stumbled on that line where this character says IRL. I'm like, they wouldn't say that in that moment.
Not at all.
There's no proof that they would die IRL. It's like no one would say that. That's way more complicated to say IRL in a sentence than just say in real life.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
Absolutely bonkers. But so I'll put this to our fans and our audience. If you have an anime scene out of context that you would like us to try and read, by all means, submit it. You just got to send it to us. Look us up on our social medias at MindGap Podcast, or just join our Discord and say, hey, I've got something. I will challenge you to put it in a script format so we can at least read it. So that is the challenge. I actually had to take this off of a transcription site, and I built it out myself. So it may take a little bit of work, unless you can find the actual script itself. But I consider myself an anime novice. So if you guys have some batshit crazy stuff, which I know exists out there, and you want to send it our way. I would
say this too. Please source it as well. Like, give us the source, like Doug did. The name of the show, the season number, the episode number, and kind of maybe whereabouts it is in that episode.
Yeah.
Just so we can verify it's you're not just making up little fan fiction anime.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? If it's bad enough, maybe we'll just read that.
Speaking of, there are hilarious. When I was looking up for scripts, there is a completely like fabricated version of these scripts that exists.
Did an AI write it?
No, I think
it sounds. You know what? It sounds like an AI wrote. Like 2001 AI wrote this.
It does sound like it, doesn't it? It is so fucking funny. I want to see if I can find the episode that what was it? SAO abridged episode 11. This is amazing. So basically they make a parody of the episode based on it. And I'll read some of the dialogue for you.
Yeah.
Look at you, snoozing there like a little sexy baby. I hope you wake up soon so I can rock your cradle. Huh? Damn it, Commander. Frickin' clam jammer. Kirito, get up. Just got a message from Heathcliff. It's time to go fight the boss or some shit. Kirito groans. All right, but I think you're going to need to change my diaper. After all, I'm just a little sexy baby. You heard that? I heard all of that. Embarrassed. No! Cut to Kirito and Asuna on his shoulders walking by the lake. Kirito sighs. It's too bad we got to go back. I mean, aside from the fact that our daughter died in front of us thinking she was alone and unloved, this was actually a pretty great honeymoon. I know, right? And the neighbors are so nice. A fisherman named Nishida sees the two of them. Why, hello there, kids. Beautiful weather we're having. It sure is, sir. Kirito, that man's not wearing pants. Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to look at it directly. Oh, God, what's he doing with this? And honeymoon over! Asuna screams in surprise as Kirito runs away. Nishida says, no, don't go! It's not what it looks like! Oh, well, at least the fish are always here for me. There's a brief silence before we hear the sounds of furious masturbation into a hopefully dead fish.
So wait, did someone write this?
Yes.
Or is this from the show? I'm confused.
This is something that someone wrote. They call it SAO abridged, Sword Art Online abridged, and they just write their own like summarized transcripts and like scripts. And
oh boy, yeah.
I saw that earlier today. I'm like, this isn't the script. I'm like, this is really funny. I got to that part where it's like,
I could go for some grouper.
There's a brief silence before we hear the sounds of furious masturbation into a hopefully dead fish.
Hopefully, yes. One can only hope.
Oh man, this has been great.
That's all right. Well, that's a thing.
Whew. Thank you for indulging me on that, because
That was fun. I look at those who have been here for a while, who are familiar with myself and the podcast, know that I very much have no idea what I just read. I don't watch anime. I'm one of the least knowledgeable people when it comes to anime. So that was very special. That was very, very special.
Yeah. It's kind of joyous for me because you're not into like that kind of like fantasy game anyway. So hearing people talk about HP and guilds.
I mean, I know these things.
These are words that you've heard,
that I've heard, and yeah, exactly.
But it brings me the utmost joy to hear you say these things and just being like, "What the fuck am I saying?" It'd be similar to me asking Jill to read this script with me. She'd be like, "What the fuck am I saying?" I'm like, "Exactly." Exactly.
Oh God, that's fun.
Speaking of what the fuck are they saying? Apparently, people are desperately clamoring to get the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad.
And I'm just gonna throw out there a big why. Just a big, giant, juicy why.
Yeah, apparently David Ayer's original edit of 2016 Suicide Squad deserves streaming salvation, says cast member Jay Hernandez. And not only because his fire-wielding meta, Chato Santana, a.k.a. El Diablo, survived that edit. But apparently, a lot of people they want to see this cut because it's like the worst kept secret that there was a lot of trouble. I don't know necessarily on the set, but basically Ayer was butting heads with the studio.
Yeah, studio bastardized the movie and
100%.
As studios want to do from time to time.
Exactly, because the teaser we saw when it originally was released, like when they released the teaser at one of the Comic Cons, it was dark, it was sinister, and I was pumped for it. And then later on, we got supposedly it was like the notes were that this is too dark, we need to make it fun. And then they brought in different people to edit it, and then we got whatever we got out of it, which was
we got brutal. The nonsense we got.
Yeah. So supposedly, David Ayer already got all the footage that he needed. So like they, in relation to Zack Snyder's cut, where they had to go and reshoot a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. Apparently, David Ayer doesn't need to do that. So
Ayer's like, it ain't going to cost me $30 million to put out the Ayer cut of this.
Yeah. And so several people, I think the cast, I know 30 Seconds from Mars was saying that
Jared Leto.
There we go. He obviously was
I didn't know if you weren't saying his name or you just couldn't think
of his name.
Okay.
I was like, whatever, So Jared Leto obviously was famously disappointed in that movie because so much of his stuff was cut out. So he knows that there's a lot going on.
Allegedly, they shot enough Joker stuff that they could have almost put together a full Joker film based on that, is what Leto said. And he was in a total, I think it was 7 minutes of that film.
Yeah, he was barely in it at all.
Yeah. And if I was him, I'd be pissed too.
We could tell that this stuff just doesn't make sense.
Right. It's very
disjointed. A lot of things just don't make sense. So I would be curious to see it because that movie is so bad that I would love to I wouldn't mind seeing David Ayer's, version of it, but I don't need to see it. Like, I'm not going to be like, get it out there. If you told me tomorrow that it's up on HBO Max, I'd be like, all right, I'll check it out. I mean, I saw that movie once
this weekend. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out. But I'd also argue The Suicide Squad already exists and is a far superior film.
Absolutely.
And I highly doubt that Ayer's cut is going to match up to that. And you could probably argue this isn't a competition. So.
Right. But I mean, I guess is the intent from a filmmaker's perspective, I could see why he would want it out there. If he feels like his film, the film that he was going to put out, is vastly different than what got put out, and he wants to save some face and say, look, you guys, like the general audience, a lot of people shit on this film. We're all in agreement that this was not a good film. I'm sure that drove him up a fucking wall if that was not the film that he intended to put out. So I can see from that perspective where he's like, no, I deserve to have my vision of this judged on its own fairly. It could be a giant pile of shit. It might be a good film, but to your point, at this point, why? Like even though it's not a competition, there's no way that it will not be compared to The Suicide Squad. It's always going to be compared. So he really better be confident that this is a good movie.
I'm with you. I think that's a really good point in that I think from an artist perspective, you would want your best piece of art out there, right? If you're like, man, that doesn't represent what I did, or, I'm putting myself in his shoes, I'd be pretty fucking pissed if I spent all that effort, all that time making something and someone's like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something different. And it's a giant pile of shit. You're like, well, that's not what I made, Right. And if the resources are there, like everything, assets are there, it wouldn't take you much to do it. Like, just be like, can I please just make it,
28 versions of Blade Runner, so like why it stands to reason that, a director's cut of a movie is not a foreign concept. Mm-hmm. So they exist. It is just one of those, like, are people clamoring for this? I don't think so. Like the Snyder Cut was a big thing because that was years in the making.
Yeah.
This, I feel like people have only been talking about this for a couple of weeks, maybe. Like, I don't know.
It's been out there for a while. I've heard people talk it over. They're like, hey, there's a different cut of it out there,
Yeah.
It'd be great if we could see it. But at the same time, too, that, as far as I'm concerned, that was pre The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And once the Suicide Squad came out, I was like, that other movie doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Like,
does this open up precedent of every director for any movie that doesn't work going, no, that wasn't my movie, and then getting to put a second round? Like, is the Pandora's box on that open where everyone is now going to be putting out 2 versions of every movie, especially if the first one bombs?
Well, I'll say this much: if there's a demand for it, it should be explored at the very least. Like, I
won't argue with that.
There is a huge demand to see the Snyder Cut of Justice League,
right? And again, that's fine. But Biodome? Is there a director's cut of Biodome or Dude, Where's My Car? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau goes, hold on 1 second. I don't know why.
Hold on 1 second.
Hold on 1 second, you little whippersnapper. I have things for you.
I have new version where it actually is drama, not dark comedy, like I originally said it would be.
Right.
I think if there's a strong demand for it, and there's an audience that's like really, really, really wants to see it, I think it should be explored. Outside of that, I mean, because I'd almost argue, who cares at this point? Like for Suicide Squad, like I mean.
Yeah.
Because if the Suicide Squad didn't exist, I think this would be a different conversation.
I fully agree with
that. But the Suicide Squad existing already, I'm like, I think I got what I needed out of that franchise already. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to see a quote unquote better version potentially of a previous version that I don't care about. Yeah.
I just need to see what in the time since the Suicide Squad came out, writer, director. Okay, here we go. So Machine Gun Kelly music video, he did Bright. Was that Netflix one, right?
Yeah.
2 series of the show Deputy. He did The Tax Collector, and he's got one that he's in pre-production on called The Beekeeper. Okay. So he hasn't done a ton. Oh, The Tax Collector was that Shia LaBeouf vehicle. Oh boy. Yeah. You know what? This makes sense. I get it. I get why he would want
a little bit of digging.
Yeah. It's not, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure in the industry, he probably feels like he got really shit on, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Again, yeah. If it were me, I feel like I would probably be in the same boat where I would be like, no, this isn't my movie. Not the movie I made.
Yeah. Because let's face it, he will, regardless, for better or worse, he'll get stuck with a moniker as like making a stinker.
Yes.
Of a movie
absolutely.
out of that. Yeah. Which is a fucking shame. So
I'd actually be curious to read, because he wrote it too. I'd be curious to read the script and see how far away the script reading the shooting script and see how far away that script landed from where the actual movie is.
It's always fun to see the differences, read that stuff and find the differences between that stuff, because I'm always surprised what you find. I remember reading, I think, the pilot episode of Scrubs, like the script for that, and I found some differences in what the script was versus what the final version was. It was very interesting.
That's very interesting.
So it's always cool to, again, watching the sausage get made, find out how it works.
Well, Doug, that appeals to the practical nature of you.
It sure does.
And when something appeals to practical Doug, you just gotta ask him.
You got the questions, we got the answers. All you do is ask. Practical, 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 practical. Ask Practical Doug.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
I play that noise because Practical Doug is like an inception inside of Big Doug. Mm-hmm. Because Practical Doug, if it's your first time here, is a small Doug that lives inside Big Doug. And he guides Doug in all of life's practical decisions in decision making. Our audience likes to ask Practical Doug questions. You can too. You can join us live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Central on YouTube. You can join our Discord. Follow us on social media. #AskPracticalDoug. And you can get your practical question answered with the practical answer. Today's Ask Practical Doug. I'll say this. We had a nice little repository of a nice little backlog of Ask Practical Doug questions. We're burning through them. So I would like to challenge the people listening now and the people listening in the future. Go ahead and submit some more Practical Dougs. That'd be lovely for us, lest we have to start making them up. Let's see if we can.
Real quick, I have a quick one that was actually submitted today that was...
Oh, okay.
Real quick. It comes from Slotty submitted a tweet from @KBuddyArtist, and the tweet was simple. It was, do you check your headphones for spiders?
Hey, Practical Doug, we have a last-minute submission asked by Slotty. It's, do you check your headphones for spiders? And if so, why not? What?
Well, you know why you have to check for spiders. Yes. It's because
they'll lay eggs in your ear.
They're in there, man.
Yep. Do you check? Let me ask you this, Practical Doug. Not just headphones. Do you check anything that you put on your person for insects, for foreign objects?
Based on,
and should you? That's the practical question.
I check. My house is, especially as it gets warmer, the spiders start coming out of the woodwork. So there's definitely some things that around my home I keep an eye on. So, but I'll be honest. Like I said in the Discord, I responded with Snape's always. I don't, because there's no way a spider would get into my headphones case. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Nope. It's impossible that a spider would be able to get in there. Absolutely 100% impossible. They are shut 99.9% of the time. So
now, are they airtight?
Yes. If a spider got in there, that spider would not live. I'll tell you that much. It would not be alive.
If the spider got in there and it did crawl into my ear, that spider has earned the right to do what it wants to me.
Right?
Yep.
I agree. Like, if you're... Based on where I have my headphones stored and how they function, there's no way. I am confident that a spider would not get in there. Absolutely confident. And then I don't worry about that. Because also, if a spider were to fit in there, it'd have to be a real small spider too. Like, this isn't, there's no tarantulas hanging out in that thing, Now, a tarantula could, I don't know, grab it and put it in its lair, I suppose. It could grab the whole case.
Your headphones?
I mean, I imagine, like, if you're saying, like, a tarantula has, stolen
You're talking about the ones you're wearing right now.
No, I'm talking about, like, the headphones that I wear, like, in my ears, like, that are earbuds. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, no. It's the, man, no spider's going to get into your little teeny
Yeah, that's what I was like, absolutely not.
This shit.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
That's how I took it. Because, earbud, or a little earbud, like, I don't... No spiders get.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Absolutely not. Yeah. That changes things now. Let's go through a different perspective.
Yes.
Let me look at these real quick.
Yep. Because here's the
A
thing.
little more concerned now.
But I'm going to start now because now I can't not see that.
A little more concerned now. Yeah.
Well, one thing I've learned in Michigan is that not being 14 floors up in the center of the third largest city in the country, outside of living there, there's a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that. I dealt with very minimal bugs 14 floors up downtown Chicago. Out in Michigan, I am encountering all sorts of friends. And now all I can think about is these friends hanging out in my earphones. I do check my shoes now, legitimately, because I found a few of them centipedes.
Yeah, this is definitely unsettling for me now because this is not what I was thinking of when I originally read that this morning. And when I spouted it out, I wasn't thinking about what I'm using right now. I was just thinking about my Razer headphones. Yeah. I mean, I don't, but I probably will moving forward.
Yep.
And that's been Practical Talk.
And that has been Practical Doug. You're welcome. Oh, gross.
All right.
Richie says, I worry about a huntsman spider in my pants. I have big balls, tiny dick.
Huntsman spiders are big, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
They'll bite them balls.
They will. Cha-cha.
They won't even think twice about it.
Yeah. Sully goes, these headphones seem like the perfect home for a spider. They do.
All right. I'm going to take these off for the rest of the episode. Yeah.
My ears are tingling, and I don't know why.
Yep.
Welcome to the throwdown.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I would, you know what? Yeah, never mind. Go ahead. Yes. All right. What are we doing? Here we go.
All right. This week's throwdown is Maestro Hulk versus Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, there it is. You got this.
All right. I didn't know Maestro Hulk was a thing.
I didn't either. I gotta open this up. I was thinking as soon as you said you don't like the thought of the spider thing, I was like, I should have queued up Doug Hates Stuff.
Doug Hates Stuff.
Haven't heard that one in a while.
No, we haven't. Cool.
Is Maestro Hulk the one that Wolverine rips through in Old Man Logan?
I think that's the one, yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know. Do you want to take Maestro and I'll take Beta Ray Bill?
Yes. Give me just a second because I'm closing all of the pop-ups.
All of the pop-ups. All of the pop-ups.
All of the pop-ups popping on up. Boo.
Boo.
Where's the X on this one? Nope. That opened the ad. God damn it.
I know.
In there?
They're
nope,
sneaky.
opened the ad.
Sneaky little beeholes.
Close.
Yeah, Beta Ray Bill is probably, I know they're pretty powerful and people tend to like him. I think he's one of the dumbest looking characters out there.
I don't like how he looks at all.
Yeah. He's a weird dude.
But so his hammer is Stormbreaker?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's weird. I also hate his name. Ladies and gentlemen, Beta Ray Bill.
My heart. Mike. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I not a fan of his horse face. All right.
Know, right?
So Maestro Hulk.
Such a mean horse face motherfucker, you know.
And horse face Beta Ray Bill. Cool. So his tier, it varies. He's a high 6C up to a 3C when sufficiently enraged. He plays a high C. Powers and abilities. Superhuman physical characteristics. That's descriptive. Genius level intellect. Regeneration. He took several years to recover after being reduced to powder. So immortality, types 3 and 4, similar to diabetes. Longevity. Rage power and transformation. Attack potency, it varies, usually large island level up to galaxy level. He has beat his past self in a fight.
That's a line.
I'm gonna smack you so hard I'm gonna send you back so you can beat your past self. He's got stellar lifting strength, striking strength again, galactic durability, large island up to galaxy level. He's withstood hits from his enraged past self. He seems to have a thing with his past self.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to read the character bio to see why he's beefing with young Hulk. Extremely high stamina as long as he remains angry and horny. Rage, extended melee range due to his size. His thunderclaps can reach up to kilometers in every direction. By attacking the ground, he can reach a potential planetary range. Ooh. He's got no equipment except his guns. Extraordinary genius intelligence. He has the same intelligence as, again, his past self. Weakness, none to speak of. God damn it. Hold on. I've got spoiler pop-ups now for Doctor Strange.
Oh, no.
I didn't know that was a thing. Let's see. I just love this. Thunderclaps are code word for his ass cheeks, says Slotty. I feel like Thunderclap is just, that's the kind of STD he has. Like,
right.
He's got
That's what you get when you get to a superhero, because superheroes have super level STDs, you know?
Yeah, you do not want crabs from him. You could make a meal on those things.
Yeah, right.
No real weaknesses that I'm seeing on here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, none notable. Unlike his past self, he can control when he turns back into a human. So this guy's really OP'd. Like, he's... I feel like this is like peak Hulk.
Yeah. And
approximately 100 years into the future, nuclear war has killed off all of Earth's superhumans, taking the world to the brink of extinction. A future version of the Hulk, called Maestro, has seized control, driven insane by nuclear radiation he has absorbed and the bitterness he feels towards the world as a continued treatment. He has the intelligence of Banner, and the absorbed radiation has significantly enhanced his strength. So he's got old man strength, radiation strength, genius intellect, and he is a extinction survivor. So there you go. And he's insane. What does Beta Ray Bill have, Doug?
Well, first of all, Beta Ray Bill was initially intended to be a surprise as an apparent monster who unexpectedly proves to be a great hero, but he became the first being outside of the Marvel Universe's Norse pantheon to be deemed worthy enough to wield Thor's hammer.
Interesting.
Mjolnir. After initial rivalry for possession of the weapon, the alien warrior was granted a warhammer of his own called Stormbreaker, and the two reconciled as staunch allies.
All right.
So he's got just a long list of powers and abilities, one of which is blessed. So hashtag blessed for, Beta Ray Bill. A lot of shit. He's got similar attack potency. Oh my God. As a side effect of their battle with Stardust, they shook the universe by darkening the stars and knocking the planets out of their orbits. Icon stated that he was on the same level as Quasar, Gladiator, and the Silver Surfer without restriction. I don't know who most of those are. I know who the Silver Surfer is, though.
Yeah.
Massively faster than light
Gladiator's
speed.
Russell Crowe. He's coming back.
Yeah.
Thanos.
Super right. Lifting strength class Y equal to Thor. Lifted the entirety of Asgard. Jesus Christ.
That's big.
Striking strength, large iron class or solar system class at peak. Galaxy level for durability. He survived explosions generated by the destruction of Stormbreaker. Blah, blah, blah. He's extremely high stamina. He can fight for months on end without tiring.
Wow.
His range is interplanetary. Standard equipment, Stormbreaker, blah, 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 blah. Intelligence. Knowledge of many alien races and cultures. Knowledge of the Asgardian gods and their realm. Very effective and experienced warrior. Is capable of operating and creating machinery that can destroy planets. Okay. Weaknesses. Releasing his limiters lowers his lifespan. I don't know what that means. But he has...
His limiters, like what's on his... it looks like the dials on his chest plate.
I don't know.
Maybe that's... Maybe, I don't know.
Beats me. His feats, he has ties and wins over Thor, Silver Surfer, and Stardust. Limiter release. Releases the limiters on his cyborg power core, temporarily increasing his speed, strength, and durability to incredible levels. In this form, he is also covered in a sheath of energy and can fire energy blasts without using Stormbreaker. However, doing this shortens his lifespan. There we go.
Okay.
So this is interesting because, like, strength versus strength, I think these two are pretty equally matched. Like, I think there's not a lot that's giving one or the other an edge. And you've also got Maestro, who is extraordinary genius. He has the same intelligence as his past self. He's also able to control when he turns back into a human, so I think that's interesting. I feel like while strength is relatively evenly matched, I think the fact that he has ties and wins over the Silver Surfer is, I think, considerable.
I would agree with that very much. Yeah, that seems like it should not be ignored.
I also think that his capability of operating and creating machinery that can destroy planets. Now, granted, if these two just meet up, he's not going to be like, "I'll be back in a month," and just come up with a super bomb. So I think maybe that should be tossed out because that's not going to be the case. That's not going to happen. So, I don't know. I think this is tough, but I think you got Hulk. That is, I don't know. I think there's just like a mysticism around Beta Ray Bill that gives him a slight edge in this.
Yeah, see, my initial reaction was I was going to go with Hulk because, as we know, Hulk has near Richie Armour says kill them both. You know what? Why not, right?
Yeah.
There's that, when he's got nearly or presumed unlimited strength based off of how angry he gets. So if he keeps getting angrier and angrier, I mean, this guy's, he can shake a Beta Ray Bill. Wow, Beta Ray Bill can, destroy planets. Hulk can, if he hits the ground, he can shake an entire planet. I would pretty much assume that destroys the planet. So it seems like they're pretty evenly matched. But at the same time, I do agree there's some innate because he's got cosmic ties and he's got Stormbreaker, which we've seen Thor put Hulk down with Mjolnir. Mm-hmm. Hulk wasn't able to lift it. Thor hit him with it, dropped it on him. He wasn't able to get up. So I feel like if Stormbreaker has the same kind of elemental properties as Mjolnir, I feel like I got to give it to Beta Ray. And look, they are gonna fuck each other up big time.
Whatever world they're on is not going to be good when the fight's done. There's going to be some collateral damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd also say if Beta Ray Bill can get in early before Maestro can build up enough rage, maybe he knocks him out or something like that, disables him. I think that's his edge. But if the longer the fight goes on, the greater the chance that Maestro pulls it out. But I think Beta Ray Bill will have the advantage here, and I think ultimately he'll come out on top.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through some of the powers and abilities here, and again, what is the Nova Force? I feel like that's big. It takes me to Imager, which is great.
That's what you want.
And it's just a panel from the comics, so that does me no good. And look, powers and ability. The second one in there, blessed.
Yeah, right.
#blessed.
Blessed.
I got to give it Beta Ray Bill for the win. Got to do it.
You got to do it.
Yes.
All right. Great stuff. Justin, what do you
Yes.
recommend this week?
Excuse me. So there is a stand-up comic named Sam Morril, Morril.
Yes.
Very funny individual. I found out about him on Instagram and been kind of watching some of his stuff. But he did a documentary, and it's on YouTube for free. It's called Full Capacity. I watched it the other night, and he went around and documented. So again, stand-up comedian, been doing it about 20 years or so. He went around New York as it was reopening from the pandemic. Comedy Cellar, Laugh Factory, a whole bunch of different places like comedy clubs around New York, and documented the reopening and stand-up coming back to New York. And he's got people like David Tell, Colin Quinn, a whole bunch of some people that Ray Romano, and then some other smaller comics that you might not know, which is cool because you get to see just how they all interact, how they're all very much the same. His interaction with Colin Quinn and Ray Romano is no different than his interaction with some dude you've never heard of or some female comic you've never heard of. They're all just, when they're together, it is one community, and your celebrity means fuck all.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to see even Ray Romano talking to him, going like, I'm terrified. He goes, I can't tell you the last time I was nervous. I'm terrified to go back up here. I haven't been up on a stage in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this is nerve-wracking for me, you know? And you hear all of them talking about what it was like to bomb. Like, he's interviewing people that just got off stage when they were 33% capacity in New York. The comics were inside like a plexiglass fish tank, and all the other audience members were inside their own bubbles. And they're like, how do you do comedy like that? He goes, that it doesn't work. Like, and just listening to them break it down about why it doesn't work, and the energy of the room and how they feed on each other. Like, it's just really, really cool to see from a really raw, and it's not like an overly produced documentary. So it's cool to see from a very raw, real standpoint what it looked like for the comedy scene to reopen in New York. So I would
really cool.
Strongly recommend checking that out. Again, it's called Full Capacity, and it's, again, free on YouTube. So go check it out.
That's awesome. What a great suggestion. I love hearing about that stuff.
Yeah. Dougie, what do you got?
For me, I'm going to recommend a podcast that I've recommended before.
Is it Sword Art Online?
It's not Sword Art Online, read by us. It's the Real Dictators podcast. It's a phenomenal podcast that breaks down some of the, I don't know if you want to say the word greatest dictators in our past, but the most notorious,
the most
ones.
Successful.
They're doing Hitler in many parts, because there's so much to go through with Hitler, but a lot of them will sometimes get 6-7 episodes as they take you through people like Joseph Stalin. The most recent one that they've done a couple of quick ones on Genghis Khan, and then also Julius Caesar, and it's phenomenally researched. It's very engaging. And I highly recommend it. It's so entertaining to put it on, and just, you feel like you're learning something, and it doesn't feel like dry and boring.
Cool.
And I find trying to understand how someone could get to that level of power, why they would want to get to that level of power, and what they do when they get there. It's like, oh, there's a similar formula between, yes, it's like, as you say, Genghis Khan. It's actually pronounced Genghis Khan. That's how you pronounce his name. Fuck.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
We've been saying it wrong for years because our language sucks. Yes. Like Genghis Khan, if he was a party name of a game of wooden brick blocks.
You got it. That's it.
Genghis Khan. That's how his name is pronounced. But I highly recommend it. It's really well done. They've been going for 3 seasons now. The Real Dictators.
You said it's interesting to see how there is similarities between the rises in power. That's really interesting.
There's the psychology there that exists in a lot of these folks that you're like, I'm seeing a pattern in a lot of them. And some of them are just like these third world countries where someone just got power and no one was going to take it away from them. They just got there and they're like, I'm here and I'm going to do bizarre shit like rename all the months. And whatever, or outlaw dogs and beards and whatever. Like, there's the batshit crazy stuff. But then also when you see stuff like, how did Hitler come to power? And you're just learning about that, or Stalin, or some of these other folks. You're like, oh wow, and there's a bunch that I'd never heard of. So I'm like, oh, tell me more. It's
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, Genghis Khan. It's fascinating to just hear them break that stuff down. So
that's cool.
Highly recommend it.
Nice.
All right, gang. Thanks so much for listening. Please check us out on all our social medias at MindGap Podcast. Please check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/MindGap Podcast. If you want to see us live, we record the podcast on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Central on our YouTube page. I also host a video game live stream on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Central. So come hang out for us then. And don't forget to follow Justin online as well.
On Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Podbean, all the places you can find and consume quality podcasts. You will find us there, and you can consume us there. Like, rate, review, subscribe, all those good things. They mean a lot to us. And then keep an eye on all of 2 East 8th's social media, and feel free to check out 2east8th.com if you're looking for, more Justin Reed's hentai scripts. You'll find that right there. Yeah.
Reminder, if you've got anime that you want us to do a quick read of a scene, submit it to us. Reach out to us on our socials and join our Discord. Link is in the description. Check that out. I would love to do more of those segments. So
yeah.
But with that being said, Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Chat, thank you.
Listeners, thank you.
And you all have a dandy fucking week, y'all.
Mind Gap Podcast.